Hi, everyone, and welcome. Great to have you with us. We're going to be talking about Bradley Athletics for the last school year and maybe look ahead a little bit. I'm Dave Snell, and with me is the Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics at Bradley University, Dr. Chris Reynolds. Chris, it was quite a year and some great accomplishments from the athletic department and the teams.
Absolutely, Dave. Another good year for us. Some programs did exceptionally well. Some programs are in their initial stages, and we'll talk a little bit more about those programs that are really building a foundation. And then some programs have areas of improvement, and so we're going to meet with those coaches and those programs and talk a little bit about how we can improve performance for this upcoming year.
There are people that were there or listening and watching that will never forget that Sunday afternoon at Carver Arena basketball-wise.
Dave, it was an historic day for us, a sellout crowd. You had students rushing the floor after the game. Our first conference championship in men's basketball in 27 years. An overall great day for Bradley Athletics.
And when you talk about building programs, the men's basketball team is a prime example. 5 wins the first year, build, 2 tournament championships, and then a conference championship this year.
Yeah, David, it's what we talked about, from day one, how you build a program. Over the past 6 years, you have 4 20-win seasons. You have 2 conference tournament championships, and now a regular season championship. Really excited about our men's basketball program. And then you get it to the point where success is expected. And that's really where you want to be as a program. And as we continue to move forward, we know what the goals are. We don't have to talk about it, but it's really exciting to be in that position where you don't just necessarily rebuild. Now you're reloading every single year, and you're expected to perform at the top of the conference.
The cross-country team continues their excellence in winning again the men's and women's Missouri Valley Conference Championship, and Darren has done a terrific job.
Yeah, when you think about our programs, you want to be in the conversation for competing for conference championships, and Darren has done a tremendous job as it relates to that. What the cross-country programs did this past year is very hard to do. Conference championship on the men's and women's side. And so again, every single year you expect that out of those programs. And so it's very exciting to see how those programs have built themselves to this point.
And then when you talk about track and field, you talk about an indoor All-American in Wilma Nielsen. And then 5 go on to the NCAA in the outdoor track and field. So it just keeps building and building and building throughout the whole year.
I mean, how exciting is that to see our programs competing on a national stage in that conversation? Young people come into Bradley University with an opportunity from an athletics perspective to compete with the very best.
Hiring coaches. You've excelled at that. And now we have 3 new coaches that are trying to build their programs to get where Brian did when he started.
Yeah, really excited about Kate with women's basketball, Alicia with volleyball, and Sarah with softball. And so we've seen this movie before, a coach in their first year, whether it was Brian Wardle or it was Darren Gosson. But we've demonstrated that we hire coaches that know how to build. And so we don't get really excited one way or the other about how the first year goes, because the first year is really about building that foundation, a way of going about what we do, which means a culture. And so you want to develop a culture of building good habits so that student athletes understand what it takes to be championship caliber on and off the court.
It takes patience, it takes a lot of work, and it also takes the idea of a dream, setting that goal and in that culture.
Yeah, and that takes time, right? It doesn't happen overnight, and there are no quick fixes to anything. It takes perseverance. It takes having a blueprint, having a plan, and every single day you're chipping away on building good habits. And then in addition to that, you have to identify bad habits and begin to address those directly, because ultimately you want to attract young people to our athletics department and university that are put in a position where they can be successful on the court and field and off of it as well.
Let's talk about academics, because it's something I know that you're very proud of. And the GPAs, the graduates, and what they go on to do, and this year fit right into that culture.
Dave, across 220 student athletes, our average GPA was 3.45, which is absolutely unheard of. And the great thing about our athletics program over the course of the past 8 years, we become accustomed to that. It's what we do, but that's very difficult to do. Think about it. Across 220 student athletes, the average GPA is 3.45. And not to take anything away from our incredible student athletes, not all of them came into this university posting those type of grades. But just like on the court and on the field, we've developed a culture within our athletics department where achievement and success is just the expectation. And so when our young people come into our athletics department, we expect them to excel in the classroom. And what I find is if you show young people the bar and what you want out of them and what you expect from them, then they will strive to reach that bar. And so I talk a lot about how we work to develop champions on the court and field and off of it as well. And we want them to achieve not just here during these 4 or 5 years here at Bradley in the athletics department, but it's about excelling for the next 40 or 50 years. But this provides them a framework and a foundation for expecting nothing less than the best from themselves every single day.
When you talk to our student athletes, when they leave, they said, what did they learn more than anything else? Time management.
Dave, you hit it right on the head. When you think about athletics, what's so important is what young people learn that translates to life. And so they learn hard work and the importance of hard work. They learn teamwork, how to work within a team. And even in that, they learn how do I work within a team concept with people who are from different states, sometimes different countries, with young people that are coming from different socioeconomic backgrounds, different ethnicities. How do we work together as a team? They learn how to fail and get back up, how to shake off that loss on Monday and be ready to get back in there on Wednesday and compete at a high level. And so all these things apply to every aspect of life outside of sport. For 4 or 5 years, our student athletes can understand what it means to be a champion, not just on the court or field, but off of it as well. And those are the things that we really try to emphasize with our student athletes, that they can understand that this is a part of a process that will help them be successful, not just here at Bradley, but in life as well.
And part of that, all that experience is public service. You can take a look at the list of all of the places that our student athletes go, and it would take you 7 minutes to tell somebody about that.
As a native of Peoria, it's one of the aspects of what we do that means so much to me. Having grown up in this community, the greater Peoria area is able to benefit from our student athletes being an active participant in the community. So it's no different than I'm an active participant in this community, but you know what? So are our coaches and our student athletes. And so when you look at the list of organizations within this community that we impact on a daily basis, I mean, it's between 70 to 80 organizations that are student athletes, and it's not just about lip service. I mean, it's hands-on in the community, working with young people and other organizations that help lift our community. And it's really important to me that if we're going to be in this community, we want to make our presence felt on a daily basis. We want to be a value-added asset to our community, and our student athletes have demonstrated that over the past 8 years, no question.
A.J. Robertson, you talk about Ron Ferguson, the great athletic directors that we have had here at this school. In 8 years, you have 15 championships. That's never been done. So I know you're a very humble guy, but the facts are you've done the job.
Well, I appreciate that, Dave. And it's totally a we thing. It's staff, it's coaches, it's student athletes operating under the same drumbeat working together as a team, linked arm in arm, and it's amazing what can happen and be achieved when nobody cares who gets the credit, right? And so it's not about what one person is doing, it's what we are all doing to contribute to the achievement and success of our programs, which in turn goes to the achievement of our student athletes. And at the end of the day, it's about our young people. It's important that they have a terrific experience here at Bradley University, because you know what? Our alums become our biggest cheerleaders. We want them to come back to campus. We want them to have a sense of pride in their time at Bradley, and doing well in the classroom and competitively plays a large role in how they feel about their time here at Bradley.
And we can't forget you, the donors, the fans, those that support the program, because without them, these things don't happen.
We cannot do anything that we do without our donors, our supporters, those that are with us, linked arm in arm from day one. I'll never forget being at the Civic Center. I'm sure you remember a packed house in there when we first started, and the outpouring of support was off the charts. And what I find is that this community has been with us for decades, and they have been unwavering in their support, and their support has enabled us to be successful, and we need them to continue to be supportive, as I know they will.
Thank you very much, and thanks for joining us. Chris, enjoyed it, and we'll continue to do this throughout the course of the summer to let people know what's happening in Bradley Athletics.
Thank you, Dave.
All right. Thank you, and we'll see you next time as we take a look at Bradley Athletics. So long, everybody.